Now, we are to the point now of bringing Ramasamy online here. Ramasamy, who's a staff technical support engineer for Palo Alto Networks, is going to be taking the last day 4 of our event. And Ramasamy, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm.
All right. The show is all yours.
Just, yeah. Yeah. So thanks, Charles. Good afternoon to all. Welcome to session 4. In today's session, we will be discussing about ADEM and deployment best practices. It's a small topic, and we'll be finishing early. Being said that, we have some interesting slides, which is not publicly documented. So let's get started. ADEM. The ADEM is a natively integrated into the GlobalProtect app and Prisma Access. Through ADEM, we can monitor multiple parameters like endpoint metrics, network analysis, application insights in endpoint metrics. We can monitor CPU usage, memory, health check, the disk health, battery, OS status, and in network analysis parameters like Wi-Fi signal, the VPN performance, public IP, latency, jitter, losses can be captured. And then application insights, real user monitoring for SaaS, the performance like page load time and server response. It can proactively detect issues by running a synthetic test, which simulates the user traffic from endpoints, and Prisma Access to identify degradation, example, DNS and TCP latency. And in the self-serve alerts, notify the user directly for resolvable issues like poor Wi-Fi signals, high CPU usage, etc. We need to enable this config in the app settings. Moving on to the issues, there are two types of issues can occur related to ADEM. The ADEM doesn't show any experience score, or the ADEM is not installed. We can start the troubleshooting steps by collecting the GlobalProtect log bundles from the user machine. If the log bundle does not have any log file named palo_alto_networks_DEM, then the DEM agent is not installed on the user machine, or the DEM agent is installed, but there might be issues related to agent upgrade or path test. If you are using a third-party EDR, make sure the ADEM process are excluded from the endpoint security software for the ADEM to function properly. And also the most important is that also the ADEM client sends the data collected to the ADEM portal. Make sure that the FQDNs are excluded from the SSL decryptions. If you decrypt the traffic for ADEM, it's not going to work. It's going to fail straight away. You can find the ADEM processes and FQDN in the link mentioned on the document. The DEM process and the GlobalProtect process run independently of each other. You can check the users who have ADEM installed when you log in into Starter Cloud Manager and navigate to Settings, Access Experience. It will list the users who have ADEM on their endpoint. For ADEM installation issues on GlobalProtect, first make sure the user is matching the correct app settings by logging into the Starter logging services and select the GlobalProtect logs from the drop-down box to find which app settings the user is matching and confirm if the ADEM installation is enabled in the configuration for the respective app setting. If the ADEM is not installed, check the pangps.log for installation errors. If the ADEM is installed, then the DEM specific log files would need to be checked for further to isolate the issue. In this example, we have an ADEM agent not installed. In the pan-gps.log, you can see the message DEM agent setting is not installed. Again, in the pan-gps.log, when the GlobalProtect matches the app settings, which does have the ADEM installation enabled, you should see a message something like install with admin control. If the user machine has already DEM installed, but now you change the app setting, I mean the config on the portal, now the user is matching a new app settings. On the new app setting, if you have disabled the ADEM installation, then the DEM agent will get uninstalled from the user machine. ADEM issues related to update. When the DEM agent is installed for the first time, it might be an old version which is bundled with the corresponding GlobalProtect version. The DEM agent needs to be updated, which is independent of the GlobalProtect version. They both are not interlinked. New features or bug fix specific to DEM are delivered via the ADEM agent update and not via the GlobalProtect. The failure in DEM agent upgrade can cause problems with agent functionality. You can check the log file Palo Alto Networks DEM update service.log to find out about the errors on the DEM agent, and look for the keyword start updating agent to find out about the update log. Most of the issues with update are related to network issues, where the DEM the domains are either blocked and the agent cannot communicate to the DEM FQDNs, or the FQDNs are subject to SSL decryption, due to which the connection will fail. Again, make sure the FQDNs for the DEM are bypassed from the SSL decryption. The self-serve messages are also into the same file, Palo Alto Networks DEM agent.log. In this example, you can see a DLP block in the same log file, which contains the user experience parameters like CPU, disk, all those informations. For ADEM agent troubleshooting, the following log files and logs needs to be checked. Palo_alto_network_dem_agent.log. This log file has the path test and the result data. DEM service log. This log file shows the ADEM services, whether it is running or not. And update_service.log. Now this one has infos related to all the update. Dem_tray. This log file is specific to DEM end user experience, and then the tray notification messages. You can find all the notification messages in this log file. This log file is not available under the GlobalProtect log bundle. For Windows, it is under the program files, and for Mac, it is under the library log Palo Alto Networks. GlobalProtect deployment best practices. When installing GlobalProtect, always use the preferred GlobalProtect release, whether it's a new deployment or an upgrade. Check the release notes for a bug script. If you proceed with GlobalProtect upgrades to ensure users are not impacted by known bug, Also, don't upgrade all the users in one go. Upgrade a handful of users, around 10 to 15 users, and monitor it for like 2 weeks before going for a full-scale upgrade. Make sure the GlobalProtect processes are whitelisted from the EDR applications to prevent conflict. We will look into the GlobalProtect process for Windows and Mac, which needs to be whitelisted in the upcoming slides. Follow the document mentioned on the slides for clean and reliable GlobalProtect upgrades on Windows OS and Mac OS. If you are using any other than MDM, then follow the respective steps. If you plan to use Enforcer on the GlobalProtect app, then it should exempt traffic for Prisma Access portal address, internal and external gateway IP addresses, the third-party applications, SAML, IDP, and other IP addresses, which needs access when GlobalProtect tunnel is down. Again, to recap on what we discussed yesterday, the Enforcer is an feature within GlobalProtect, which acts as a firewall. When the GlobalProtect is not connected, you can restrict access and enforce the users to connect to GlobalProtect to get access to the network. GlobalProtect processes. So these are the GlobalProtect processes in Windows, which needs to be whitelisted on your EDR, firewall, the endpoint firewall, or the third-party applications which can conflict with GlobalProtect. Again, these are the GlobalProtect process, in Mac, which needs to be whitelisted to avoid the conflict. GlobalProtect management. We have some installation checklist. The IP address pool, this must not overlap with any other internal IP address or the infrastructure subnet. The IP address from this pool is assigned to the virtual network adapter of the endpoint when the user connects to GlobalProtect. We will look into details of how Prisma Access allocates IP address in the next slide. Locations to onboard. Choose the closest location to your users. A common practice is to divide locations by geographic regions. Again, we will look in details in the next slides on how GlobalProtect selects the gateway. Portal host name. Choose a portal host name to be used as a default domain name, or you can use a custom one. The name will be published to the public DNS server and handles all the certificate generations if you are using a default domain name. Service connection. So this is a function which is required for mobile users to access resources on your internal network and access authentication resources, for example, which is behind your data centers. So now back to how the IP address is assigned to a gateway. An administrator in this example is going to configure an IP pool, a worldwide pool of 192.168.0.0/20. What Prisma Access does is it will subnet that into multiples of /24. So for a /20, it will be starting from 192.168.0.0/24, 192.168.1.0/24, and so on, ending with 192.168.15.0/24. So Prisma Access will do this subnet, and what it will do is it will dynamically allocate for all the gateways which you spin up from this /24. So from this /24, if you see the gateway on the left has 192.168.5.0/24. On the top, we have 192.168.4.0/24. Now, if you see the gateways on the left has only one subnet allocated to them. On the right, you can see the gateway has 3 subnets allocated to it. The reason for that is in a /24, we have only 254 IP addresses. So when we have more than 254 users connecting to a single gateway, Prisma Access will dynamically allocate from the available /24 subnet to the respective gateway, which needs to expand its IP pool to accommodate more users. So in this example, on the right-hand side gateway, we can say we might have like 600 users. So that's why we have 3 subnets allocated to it. And this is completely automatic. You don't need to do anything. All we have to do is allocate the IP pool. It is strongly recommend that you allocate a larger pool, like /20/16, depending upon the number of gateways you have, and then the number of users you have. The point to, for example, if you don't have enough /24s, and if you're onboarding a new gateway, your onboarding will fail. And again, another point to note here is when we are upgrading the gateway, this IP pool, which is allocated to the gateway, will change. Since this is not, as I said, this is completely dynamic and this is not static. Once it is allocated and the gateway is up and running, it will not change. I mean, it will add multiple /24s depending upon the usage of your IP pool, but it won't remove and add another one. But if you're upgrading, when we are upgrading the gateway, you need to have some reserve /24s. So that's why we recommend you configure a larger pool, like /16. So that we have enough /24s. It will take from the new gateway after upgrade, will pick the /24s from the unused ones. Once the IP pools are allocated to the gateway, the GlobalProtect will get the info to the client from the portal, and then the GlobalProtect client can connect to the gateway securely. Moving on to the next slide, which is gateway deployment consideration. We have seen a lot of the customers raising cases in this topic as well. When a mobile user connects to a Prisma Access location, the GlobalProtect app uses the following selection process to determine the location to which the GlobalProtect is going to connect to. If a mobile user connects to, if a mobile user connects in a country that has Prisma Access location, then the user will connect to that location in that country. Example, if you have a user in Singapore and you have a mobile user gateway in Singapore, then the user will connect to that in-country gateway, which is in Singapore itself. For some reason, you don't have an in-country gateway. Example, you can take Indonesia, where you have users in Indonesia, but you don't have a gateway in Indonesia. In that case, the user will connect to the regional gateway. The regional gateways for Indonesia is Asia, Australia, and Japan. We have 3 gateways in that location. You can onboard any one location, either Hong Kong, Japan Central, or Japan South. And for Africa, Europe, and Middle East region, the regional gateway is Netherlands Central. And for North America and South America, the regional gateway is the US Northwest. If there is no regional gateway available for some reasons, then the GlobalProtect will connect the user to a global or global fallback gateway. For example, a user in Singapore who doesn't have, if you don't have an in-country gateway, which is you don't have a gateway onboarded in Singapore, and you don't, and you also haven't onboarded the regional gateways, which is for Singapore, the regional gateway again is Asia, Australia, and Japan, which is the 3 locations: Hong Kong, Japan Central, or Japan South. You haven't onboarded any of this location. Then what happens is the user in Singapore will connect to the global gateway. The global gateways are your regional gateways, which also act as a global gateway, plus Bahrain, France North, Ireland, South Africa West, and South Korea. So in this case, for a user in Singapore, since we don't have Hong Kong, Japan, the in-country gateway, which is Singapore, and also we don't have a regional gateway, which is Hong Kong, Japan Central, and Japan South, the Prisma Access, what it will, the GlobalProtect, what it will do is, it'll choose a global gateway, which is the, if in case if you have onboarded Netherlands Central and Netherlands and US Northwest, along with Bahrain, France, Ireland, South Africa, and South Korea, it will choose a global gateway depending upon which is the fastest one. So it calculates, it has some in the calculations, and then the best available gateway from the list will be chosen, and then the user will connect to that location. If you don't have in-country gateway, you don't have regional gateway, you don't have a global gateway, then a user in that country will not be able to connect to GlobalProtect. We will look into the steps on up the GlobalProtect. Now we are these screenshots are from the Stata the Cloud Manager. Set up the infrastructure settings and you can once the infrastructure settings is done, you can enable the GlobalProtect and click on GlobalProtect setup. The first thing requires a portal host name. You can choose between a default portal domain or a custom domain. The default portal domain will be your company name or Prisma Access .gp. I mean, your company name .gpcloudservices.com. Prisma. Now, if you use the default domain, which is gpcloudservices.com, Prisma Access will automatically create the necessary certificate and publish the host name to the public DNS server. You don't have to do anything. If you opt to go for a custom domain name, you must use the domain, the default domain name initially to set up your environment, and then you can customize the domain name. You can go back and edit the environment settings so that the portal address and the user connects to can be modified. Now add the DNS through which the GlobalProtect will be resolving your the domain names. The GlobalProtect will proxy the DNS queries on behalf of your the DNS server, which is behind your service, the data centers, and all the DNS security profiles, everything will be applied based on your security policy configurations. Add the locations where you want to onboard the mobile user gateway based on your user base. Prisma Access will only use locations that you have enabled during the user onboarding. To test your setup, you can add a local user in Prisma Access to authenticate locally, or you can go straight to setting up enterprise level authentication like SAML or use Cloud Identity Engine, so on. With Starter Cloud Manager, you can apply configuration settings and enforce policy globally across your entire environment. Or target settings and policies to a certain part of your organization. When working, you can do this by switching the current configuration scope. You can toggle this between global Prisma Access, GlobalProtect, explicit proxy, remote networks, and service connection, depending upon the one you have. Snippets enables you to standardize a common base configuration for a set of Prisma Access deployment. And the snippet associations have a top-down approach. In the event of conflicting object values and rules, the duplicate names are not allowed. Within a folder hierarchy, a snippet might only be associated one time. Snippets that are already associated with the folder in the folder hierarchy are grayed out so that they cannot be used one more time. You can customize the GlobalProtect app settings in the Starter Cloud Manager by navigating to Workflow, Prisma Access Setup, GlobalProtect Setup, and GlobalProtect app. And you can modify all the parameters over there. We will, and then this is for the tunnel settings again. You can customize the GlobalProtect tunnel settings in the Starter Cloud Manager under the Workflow tab. The app settings are for the portal, and then the tunnel settings are for your gateway. Add the match criteria a user should match before connecting to an app setting. The match criteria for an app settings we have is based on operating system, user entities. It can be a username, or the user has to be a part of a specific AD group, serial number, the certificate profiles, and then the registry, and then the process checklist. Sorry, the process check. The match criteria for the tunnel settings are based on operating systems. Again, the user entity is the same as what we had in the app settings. Region. If a user is coming from a specific region, we can match the tunnel settings, and then we can assign it to a user. Or an IP address. The user has to come from a specific IP address. You can select the method in the app configuration. We have a few connect methods like user logon, pre-logon, on demand, pre-logon, then on demand. Pre-logon, the user logon is where the GlobalProtect app automatically connects to Prisma Access as soon as the user logs in to the Windows system. And in pre-logon, the GlobalProtect app authenticates the user and establishes a VPN tunnel to Prisma Access before the user logs into the system. This option requires an external PKA solution to pre-deploy a mission certificate for each endpoint so that Prisma Access can authenticate the end user before connecting it. In on-demand, the user must manually launch the GlobalProtect app and connect to the GlobalProtect. In pre-logon, then on-demand, this is similar to the pre-logon always on connect method. The pre-logon, then on-demand is a new hybrid connect method, which combines both the pre-logon capabilities along with the, to authenticate the user before they log in into the endpoint, and then on-demand capabilities to allow users to establish a connection with the external gateways manually for subsequent connections. This is specifically useful when a user forgot his password or the password is expired and the user is not able to log in into the system. And the user is on a phone with the help desk. Now they need to change their password. Once the password is changed, the user can log in into the system. Since the pre-logon tunnel is already established, the user will be able to authenticate with your domain controllers. Now you can go ahead and define your security policies on what is allowed and what is not allowed. Resources. You can find info related to GlobalProtect license features, where support versions, release guides, and end of life in this link on that in this link. With this, we have come to the end of the session 4. Thank you.